Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Elder Wisdom Info channel. We're so glad you're here. Today, we're going to challenge one of the most common beliefs about aging, that walking more is the best thing you can do for your health after 70. It's something we've all heard for decades that a daily walk is the golden ticket to staying healthy as we grow older. And while walking does offer benefits, there's a growing conversation among doctors and aging specialists that suggests we might need to shift our thinking. Walking alone may not be enough, and in some cases, it could even be holding you back from better results. You see, as we age, our bodies change in ways that demand more than just steady movement. Joints become more vulnerable, muscles naturally weaken, and our sense of balance begins to decline. If we continue to rely solely on walking as our primary form of exercise, we may actually be neglecting critical areas of health that become increasingly important in our 70s and beyond. That doesn't mean walking is bad, it means it's incomplete. It means we need to build a more well-rounded routine that addresses not just endurance, but also strength, stability, joint care, and brain health. In today's video, we'll introduce you to 5 powerful practices that go beyond walking. These methods are grounded in the latest research on aging, mobility, fall prevention, brain performance, and long-term independence. And best of all, they're simple, accessible, and can be done right from the comfort of your home or neighborhood. We'll also share stories of real people who made small changes and saw big results because it's never too late to improve your quality of life. Stick around until the end, because understanding these 5 shifts could mean the difference between growing older with limitations or aging with freedom, confidence, and vitality. You deserve to enjoy every year to the fullest. And we're here to help make that happen with clear, practical advice tailored just for this stage of life. Let's get started with the first one. Leg strength through resistance training. One of the most common misconceptions about aging is the idea that walking is enough to keep our legs strong. While walking is indeed beneficial for cardiovascular health and maintaining general movement, it doesn't provide the kind of muscular resistance necessary to preserve strength, especially after the age of 70. As we get older, our muscles naturally lose mass and power in a process known as sarcopenia. If we're not actively working against this process with targeted strength exercises, we'll gradually lose the ability to do simple tasks like climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, or keeping steady on our feet. Let's take George as an example. He's 76 years old and had a consistent walking routine for years, 3 miles every morning, rain or shine. He thought he was doing everything right. But over time, George started to notice changes. It became harder to rise from low seating. Stairs left his legs trembling. Then came the wake-up call. He lost his balance while reaching for a book and took a nasty fall. When he visited his doctor, he learned something surprising. His endurance was good, but his leg strength, especially around the hips, knees, and thighs, had quietly diminished. That's where resistance training comes in. And no, you don't need a gym membership or heavy weights to get started. Bodyweight squats, seated leg extensions, heel raises, and resistance band exercises can all build strength effectively. Even just 2 or 3 short sessions a week can make a massive difference. These exercises engage muscles more deeply than walking and help rebuild the strength we lose with age. They also increase stability and reduce the risk of falls, one of the most serious health threats to older adults. Remember, walking helps your heart, but strength training keeps you on your feet. Balance and coordination exercises. Many people assume that if they walk regularly, they're automatically improving their balance. But walking, while rhythmic and repetitive, doesn't necessarily challenge the body in ways that prepare it for the unpredictable moments of real life. Think about sudden turns, stepping off curbs, or reacting to a pet underfoot. These are the kinds of moments where good balance and coordination really matter, and they require specific training to maintain, especially after the age of 70. Unfortunately, Most people don't realize their balance is slipping until something happens to reveal it. Helen is a great example. At 80, she was still active and walked every day around her neighborhood. But one afternoon, while playing with her granddaughter, a ball rolled her way. Helen instinctively stepped to catch it but lost her balance and fell. The issue wasn't muscle weakness. It was a slow decline in coordination and reaction time that walking alone hadn't addressed. Her doctor recommended balance training, and within weeks, Helen noticed a difference in her confidence and steadiness. She realized that balance isn't just something we have, it's something we can train and improve. So how do we train it? Try standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. That activates your stabilizer muscles. Practice heel to toe walking down a hallway, or do gentle marches in place while keeping your posture upright. Tai Chi is another fantastic option as it combines movement, mindfulness, and balance training in one elegant practice. These exercises stimulate your nervous system and teach your body how to recover quickly from unexpected shifts. Since falls are the #1 cause of injury for older adults, balance training isn't optional, it's essential for staying safe and independent. Joint protection through low-impact movement. Our joints are incredible structures, built to carry us through decades of movement. But by the time we reach our 70, many of us have experienced wear and tear from a lifetime of walking, lifting, and general use. While staying active is important, not all movement is created equal, especially when it comes to joint health. Walking on hard surfaces like concrete, especially for long distances, can stress the knees, hips, and ankles. Over time, this can lead to chronic pain or even mobility loss, which is the opposite of what we want in our golden years. Martin, age 73, loved his morning walks. He pushed himself to do 5 miles daily, believing more was always better. But as the months passed, his knees started to ache, and eventually, he had to cut back not because he wanted to, but because the pain became too much. After seeing a specialist, he learned that while movement is vital, it needs to be kind to the joints. Too much repetitive impact, especially on aging cartilage, can do more harm than good. The solution? Shift toward low-impact activities that preserve joint function without sacrificing movement. Swimming, water aerobics, cycling on a stationary or recumbent bike, or even gentle stretching routines can keep your body active while reducing joint strain. These alternatives allow you to move freely without the jarring pressure that comes from pounding pavement. Simple movements like seated leg circles or hip openers can also increase joint lubrication and mobility. And when you do walk, choose well-cushioned footwear, stay on level ground, and don't ignore signs of discomfort. Movement should feel good. If it hurts, it's time to adapt, not stop altogether, but find smarter ways to stay active. Brain stimulation through mental activity. Physical health gets most of the attention in conversations about aging, but your brain needs just as much care and stimulation, especially after 70. Many people assume that staying mentally sharp just means avoiding decline, but the truth is, our brains crave challenge and novelty well into old age. And if we fall into routines that no longer engage our minds, we risk cognitive decline that affects memory, focus, and overall mental agility. While walking can support circulation to the brain, it doesn't provide the kind of stimulation needed to keep our mental faculties thriving. Let's look at Barbara's story. At 79, she walked daily, kept a tidy home, and read the morning paper. But she began forgetting names and misplacing things more often. Concerned, she asked her doctor, who posed a single powerful question: "When was the last time you learned something new?" That moment opened Barbara's eyes. She realized she hadn't actively challenged her brain in years. So, she picked up a hobby she'd always been curious about: learning to play the ukulele. Not only did it improve her mood, but it also gave her memory and focus a noticeable boost. You don't need to take up an instrument, but the idea is the same. Try puzzles, crosswords, or memory games. Write letters by hand. Cook a new recipe without instructions. Learn a few phrases in a different language. These tasks stimulate your brain's memory, logic, creativity, and attention centers, building what's called cognitive reserve, which helps buffer against age-related decline. If your days feel repetitive or mentally dull, that's a sign it's time to shake things up. Challenge isn't just good for your mind, it's essential for long-term independence and a richer, more vibrant life. Cardiovascular support through posture and breathing. Posture and breathing might sound like background details, something we've all done automatically for decades. But after age 70, these simple habits can become silent game changers. In fact, how you stand and how you breathe have a direct impact on your cardiovascular system, your energy levels, and even your mental clarity. Many older adults unknowingly fall into patterns of shallow breathing and slouched posture. Shoulders hunch forward, the chest collapses inward, and the diaphragm becomes compressed. As a result, the lungs can't fully expand, which limits oxygen flow. This puts extra stress on the heart, reduces stamina, and contributes to fatigue even if you're otherwise active. Take Leonard, for instance. At 78, he was committed to staying healthy and took a brisk walk every day. But he couldn't shake a constant sense of tiredness and shortness of breath. It was puzzling until his physical therapist noticed his posture. His shoulders were rounded, his head leaned forward, and his chest barely moved as he breathed. Once Leonard began focusing on posture correction and diaphragmatic breathing, his energy returned almost like magic. Within weeks, he was breathing more deeply, walking farther, and even sleeping better. The solution wasn't more exercise, it was breathing more efficiently and standing with intention. You can practice this too, and it doesn't require special equipment or a new routine. Diaphragmatic breathing, also called belly breathing, is as simple as placing a hand on your stomach and breathing in deeply so that your abdomen expands, not just your chest. Combine this with a posture check. Gently pull your shoulders back, lift your chest slightly, keep your chin level, and feel your spine lengthen. You can do this sitting, standing, lying in bed, or even during your walk. Practicing for just 5 minutes a day can improve oxygen delivery, reduce heart strain, and increase overall vitality. Final thoughts: now that we've walked through the 5 essential shifts, it's time to take a moment and reflect. These aren't just exercises, they're pillars of healthy aging. First, you learn that strength in your legs isn't just about moving, it's about resisting the natural loss of muscle. Then we explored the power of balance and coordination, which prepare your body and brain for life's unexpected challenges. Next came joint protection through low-impact movement, reminding us that not all movement is kind to aging joints. Then we discussed mental stimulation and how keeping your brain engaged is just as critical as keeping your body in motion. And finally, we looked at cardiovascular support through posture and breathing, the unsung heroes of energy, heart health, and mental clarity. Together, these 5 shifts go far beyond walking. They represent a full-spectrum approach to aging with strength, stability, clarity, and confidence. Yes, walking still has value. It's a wonderful habit for heart health, circulation, and mental peace. But after 70, motion alone isn't enough. Your body craves more intentional care, more variety, more attention to specific needs, and more wisdom in how you move through the world each day. You're not the same person you were at 50 or 60, and that's not something to mourn. It's something to honor. You've lived decades of experience, growth, and resilience. Your body carries those years with pride, and it deserves to be supported with thoughtful, purposeful care that meets it exactly where it is today. So if you've been feeling off, if your knees hurt, your balance feels shaky, or your energy isn't what it used to be, it might not be aging. It might just be your body's way of asking for a new kind of attention. And here's the good news: it's never too late to begin. Start with one small step today. Try a 5-minute breathing session. Stand tall and feel your spine lengthen. Lift one foot and test your balance. These actions might feel tiny, but they're powerful signals to your body that you're listening and that you care. Over time, these small moments add up to big change. Your body is wise. It remembers effort. It rewards attention. And it will meet you where you are if you give it the chance. Thank you for watching today's video. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What's one thing that stood out to you, and how do you plan to use it? Drop a comment below to join the conversation. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might benefit. Your support helps us continue creating meaningful content to inform, inspire, and empower. Until next time, take good care and we'll see you in the next video.